So don't let them steal your life.
Woohoo! Yay! Emma Watson. She's gonna be Doctor Who. Well, I've talked about this before in my podcasts. I'll talk a little bit more about it now, because this shit pisses me off to no end. Ladies, if you're so concerned about not having female character roles, then go out, make your own motherfucking characters, and make your own movies, and men will watch them. Don't take characters that are already men and change them to women and then expect us to congratulate you. Okay? This is a common thing, and I know I'll get a lot of women that watch my videos pissed off at this. The fact is, women, because of the way their minds are made, the way their minds work, a lot of women have a hard time coming up with really elaborate stories. It's been shown in a lot of studies that when women talk about lying, women have a very hard time with making a really elaborate lie. And it's because women's minds don't work that way. Now, what you find out from this, from a psychological standpoint, is when women write stories, they typically take ideas from other people that have already been done, and then they elaborate on those stories. They don't actually write their own story with like a character with a backstory that goes like all the way back through time and has like generations of story, and like you can have a whole, like basically when you read a male book or watch a movie that a male has wrote, it's something they don't like to talk about, obviously. There's like, you get immersed into the character. There's a lot of backstory, you know. There's a lot of, it basically makes you feel like you're inside the story because you know so much about the character. And the problem is, when you look at a female role, you see two things. First of all, the story's already been told, and it's an elaborate, it's already been elaborated on. Basically, that's what it is. It's a story that's already been told, it's been elaborated on, and now a woman is telling the story, you know? And it tends to be very shallow. That's how I like to put it. A lot of these stories are very shallow, and there's no character development. So, what these women like to do then, because they know it's really hard, you know, it's really hard to come up with a character and come up with all the backstory and like make people feel like it's a real story. So instead of doing that, let's just take a male character that has a backstory, that all the work's been done, just like in society. This is, you know, women basically, now that we're to where we are in society because of man's work, well, now let's take credit for everything and say it was our doing, you know. Of course, we only want to do that with the good things, you know. We don't want we don't want equality in trash truck drivers, do we? And trash truck people, collection, you know. We don't want equal for that, you know. Ditch diggers, you know. Carpenters, you know. People that actually make society go, you know. People that actually make things work. We don't want equality in that, no. We want equality in other things, you know. Women, I won't blanket statement it, because there are some stories that women have wrote. But what you typically find is stories that women write are closer to a child's story. Something that a child could follow along with, or something like, say you look at the Harry Potter franchise. Look at the story there. All of the characters all of the things that are in that story are very much already things that happened, already things that have been wrote about, you know, wizards, warlocks, witches, sorcery, giants, you know, dragons, phoenixes, wands, flying brooms, castles, you know, all these things are they've already came about. They've already been made up, you know. And when you look at the backstory of Harry Potter, it's just his mom and his dad, and they died the night he was, you know, had the little Z put in his head and stuff like that. There's really not a lot of backstory to him, you know. And you don't know a lot about the character, but you know enough about him that it kind of makes you like the character, you know. But there's not really a lot of depth there, even in the main character in the movie, Harry Potter. You know, we don't, as a child, you don't need much to grab onto. But, you know, when you look at watching a movie when you're a child, and then you watch a movie when you're older, you're obviously going to see a lot of differences there, because movies that are made for children are not going to really appeal to grown-ups, obviously, you know. The thing is, a lot of movies from the 80s that were made when I was a kid had elaborate backstories, and the parents would be happy to sit there and watch, like Star Wars, Star Trek, E.T., Alien. You know, these are highly developed characters, Terminator, and highly developed stories that are very well thought out, very well planned, take a lot of time to write, have a very in-depth plot. You don't see that a lot, you know, in female written roles, you know. There are a lot of females who can write very well, you know. One would be the transgender writers, you know, which did The Matrix, you know. You know, she's a very, very accomplished screenwriter, and she gets paid a lot of money because of it, you know. But like a lot of things with women and with feminists, they will grab onto things that there's just a couple of them, and they'll grab onto those and say, see, women can do that because those women did it. When really, like I was talking about before when I was talking in the veganism, they're outliers. The normal women can't accomplish a lot of this stuff, you know. When you look at a lot of the stuff that women screenwriters do, there's not a lot there. There's not a lot of, it's not because women screenwriters don't exist. You know, a lot of women will try to say that. It's just women screenwriters don't exist. We don't get the chance and blah. No, you don't get the chance because you don't write good movies. You don't write good roles. You don't write good plots. You know, a lot of women want to get a pass just because they're a woman. They want to get the pussy pass. You know, it doesn't matter if you write good films. I'm a woman, so you should give me a chance, even though I have wrote a piece of crap. The fact is if you wrote good movies, it wouldn't matter if you were male or female. If you wrote good stories, you wrote good books, you wrote good films, you wrote good TV shows, people would be hiring you. They wouldn't care if you were a male or a female. They would read the plot, read the story that you wrote, and they would say, this is damn good. And they would write a movie. You know, there's millions of men that write stories that suck. They bring them into the casting places and show them to the people, and the people tell them that sucks. And they don't write the movie. Same thing happens with women. It's just far more because, like I've said, it's very hard for women to write those kind of stories. And it's nothing bad about women. It's just the way women's minds work. A woman's mind isn't made that way. Just from a physiological standpoint. They don't, they can't think in depth like that. They don't, like I say, when you look at the studies that have been done about women, and even in lying, when we look at women who lie, women liars aren't as good as men liars. And it's because when you start to get them to lie about something, you say, okay, we're gonna have you lie, and we want you to tell us the story. You even give them what they're talking about, and they lie. And we know they're lying, obviously, because we've told them to lie. But it's really hard for them to come up with a story. When you ask a man, they can come up with lots of stuff, and they can make up all kinds of stuff, and all kinds of backstories, and all kinds of things. And they'll make a whole elaborate thing to where when you're done hearing this person's lie, you almost think it's true. You know? Because they got so much that they told you about the lie, about everything. And that's how men's mind works, you know? Our mind is made to where we're constantly thinking about how to solve problems from a child all the way until we're dead. Men's minds are about solving problems. From a standpoint of women, they're not designed that way because women are nurturers. It's just a fact. You can struggle and fight that all you want, but a woman has the idea when they're raised and when they're born, and it doesn't matter if you had a male father as a caretaker, it wouldn't matter. It's innate in their system that they want to be mothers. They want to take care of people. You know, that's how women are. Men aren't like that. Men want to work, and we want to fix shit. You know, that's how men work. We just want to go out and fix a car, you know, build a house, do shit like that. Women just don't have that. It's not innate. A lot of women do that. They get with a husband, and the husband teaches them how to do some stuff, and they think it's kind of fun. They learn how to weld, you know, stuff like that. There's some women that do that, but the women who do that and like it are outliers. They're not the norm. So you can point to those women all you want, but you don't have the drive to go out there and make that happen. Sorry, you just don't, you know? So, what do I think about Emma Watson being Doctor Who? I think you know what I think. I've just told you what I think. If you have any comments, questions, leave them in the section below. Thanks for watching. Share, like, and subscribe. Have a nice day.
So don't let them